Very briefly, perhaps I will say that my main concern is how we do theology today. That might be called, in general terms, concerns about theological methodology. So how we do theology was the end finality of doing theology, how theology functions in the church. I mean, what is the effectiveness of our theological activity, and to whom are we accountable? I mean, what is the energy or the power that we are sharing with the people in doing theology? So to me, there are all these concerns. However, more specifically, how do I express this overall concern in terms of theological method has to do with intercultural things. How are we able to put together an intercultural theological word? In what regards or what criteria do we have to assess an intercultural theological activity? And what tools do we need to advance in intercultural terms? The other concern, which is linked to the previous one, is the feminist. I mean, how do we put together the theological word that is committed to the transformation, to changing injustice, global injustice, and that involves women and that involves men as well? So how do we use the power of theology, the power of religion, to advance justice or to actualize human dignity? Those are two of my concerns. A third concern that I have is to contextualize this kind of theological concerns in terms of the global developments of the economy. Globalization, dominant globalization, continues to be patriarchal, or continues to be, in this new term, hierarchical or patriarchal. So this kind of globalization is harmful for the majority of humans who are the poor, the marginalized. It's harmful for women, especially those who are poor. So globalization and theology, what kind of response are we providing? How are we engaging to change the orientations of global economy, dominant global economy today? My fourth concern, and I'm highly committed to this, is how do we support and help in creating the conditions for more women to enter theology? In the U.S., the number of women theologians, female theologians, is low, especially those of minorities. Those women called so-called minorities. In my recent the article that I wrote for this recent book on Latina feminist theology, the reader in Latina feminist theology, in my article, I provide numbers and percentages. So it will be a matter of going over that. My article is called The Central Features of Latina Feminist Theology. So in that article I provide percentages in terms of blacks, Asians, and Latinas in the U.S. Theological Academy. The numbers are dangerously low. This is a very sad situation. And the same is true in the third world. So to me, the issue of women in theology continues to be relevant. And we need to fight for widening up the space for women to enter theology as subjects of theology, as teachers of theology, as professors of theology, as those who have a say in the theological arena.